You said you had 3 goals as your position, and you already mentioned one of them. What were the other 2? And also explain the other one again to reiterate. Yeah.
When you're a leader, you have a statement of a mission, and of course, you interpret that mission with your vision. So you can always communicate that vision to the employees, to the staff members, to the faculty, and so on. So when I took this job in this capacity as executive director, I had 3 goals, and I have maintained those 3. Number 1, to have representation from 120 counties of Kentucky. All Kentucky counties should be able to be represented. We don't reach that goal every year, but at least 119. Now, in this year, we do have the 120. Second goal, to have, in the application process, merit above anything else. Merit is the overriding principle, and merit is not defined as just something you are accomplishing. Merit is a combination of factors, and that's reflected in the application. That's academic performance, that is extracurriculars, that is service, honors, awards, and a recommendation of your character from a teacher and from a community member. And so that's merit, overriding principle of acceptance. And the third goal is what I mentioned, one program on 3 sides. So we all feel that we are only one organization, not 3 separate institutions. So those are my 3 goals.
Gotcha. Okay, and this is a more general question, but I just wanted you to hear more about like your general experience with GSP over the years.
Well, the GSP, I'm going to be a little bit personal in this question first, rather than my job. The GSP is a passion. Or let's say it fulfills my own passion for education, for learning, for interacting with people, for educating people. It is hard to be an intellectual and just take a job as teaching profession. I can teach at a university. There are other faculty members who teach in high school. But does the job satisfy you intellectually speaking? Now the GSP does that because you are immersed, even if it's 5 weeks, with a group of people who want to know, who want to grow, who want to fulfill a lot of dreams, and they share all those dreams with you, whether they are faculty, RAs, office staff, administrators, or scholars. And so it is a utopia of some sort, but still is something that you emotionally are attached to because it fulfills your own personal goals to learn and so on. Now, in terms of job, the GSP is also very flexible for me, and it's very hectic in the summer, but with flexibility, with adaptability, with creativity, and trusting in everybody who works, including trusting the scholars, we can create this community. And again, it's a utopia, yes, and you don't have a summer, I haven't had 33 summers, one single summer off, but you look back to come back every summer, because believe it or not, it's hectic, but it refreshes you. So when you go back to the rest of the year, you go back with new ideas, you go back with a lot of new interests in learning and reading and knowing about astronomy. I'm not an astronomer, but I want to know about astronomy.
Right.
I'm not a physicist, but I want to know about physical science and so on.
Yeah. Considering all the factors you talked about with like community and new ideas and really just expanding your mindset at GSP, I wanted to ask you, what will you remember most about the program in general?
Well, what I will remember certainly most about the program is the people. The program is not attached to a physical location that we can call GSP owns this building. And so all those things that you are attached to in high school or in college, we don't have that in the GSP. You're attached to people. And what I will remember the most is the people. What they taught here, their interest in teaching me things. So the people, it's not easy to work with people because we are all different and we are all have different interests and different styles in working and learning and all that. But in this community, we all make an effort to belong to the community. We don't want to exclude ourselves. We don't want to exclude anybody. So what I will remember the most, and probably is what has kept me coming back all these years, is the community. Hard to explain outside these walls what that concept of community is. But you understand what I mean when I say community? And any student who has gone through the Governor Scholars in 42 years will understand the concept of community.
Definitely. Obviously, you've been with the program for a very long time. So, how do you feel about your retirement and the long period of service that you've had?
Well, not the 33 years with the program. I have not been in this position. Okay? I began as a faculty member, and for the first 8 or 9 years, up until from 92 to 2010, I was teaching. I was a professor at the University of Louisville. And so I would come in the summer, and sometimes the university would allow me time off during the academic year to do things for the GSP. So I have been faculty, campus director, first associate campus director, then campus director, academic dean, and since 2006-7, that year, I served as executive director. Now, while serving as executive director, I didn't teach any longer. I resigned my position at the University of Louisville. My life, in terms of how do I see the past and coming to a retirement, it is just part of life. I am a Catholic Buddhist, Catholic by faith, Buddhist by philosophy of life. And there is a path you walk through in life. Very rarely in my life I look back with regrets. Very rarely I have done that in my life. Maybe, and I attribute that way of being and thinking to the fact that from kindergarten to 12th grade, I went to 8 different schools. My father was moving from one place to another. There were years when I had to begin in one school and end the year in another school. And that probably shaped the path for me, if I may use that expression. And so all what I do is I walk. It's time for me to move on. I have reached the moment in which I don't contribute anything else new to the program. I can contribute advice. I can contribute wise experiences that I have had. I can share. But it's time for new leadership. It is time to offer the opportunity for others to grow. I have grown enough, and I am very appreciative of what I have received in the program, but I truly believe it's time for somebody else to take the helmet. And so I will remain attached to the program and advise, and if they need to consult with me and all that, I will be happy to help. But at the same time, there are other goals that I have in my life. I like reading, and there are many books that are still waiting to be read. I like writing, and there are many anecdotes and stories and perhaps books that need to be written. And and I like traveling. And as much as I have traveled already in my life, I still have a few other countries that I would like to visit.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You can still give a lot of advice about this program, what it has to offer to students. So kind of going off of that, what message or advice would you leave to people who have either been a part of the GSP community, current scholars, faculty, just everybody involved in GSP?
The first advice that I do every year, and I will always remind everybody, I heard this from many of my mentors in the past. It is only 5 weeks, but 5 weeks is kind of an incubator. Take it with you and implement the program not only in your life, create your own community. Be the leader by beginning to create a community in your high school, in your college, later in your profession. You will realize in 10, in 20, and 30 years that the trajectory of your life began here. Before coming here, your family, your teachers, your communities, your local communities help strengthen your healthy roots. So you are healthy in terms of thinking, in terms of feeling, in terms of connecting with others, and so on. Now it's time to apply that and take it with you. No regrets about its ending. Everything will end in life. And yes, you will cry a little bit when going home or a lot, but you realize that that's a cry because you are happy that it happened. Take it with you rather than keep it in a memory, oh, my GSP experience. No, implement it and make sure that by doing that, we keep alive the dream of the GSP, the goals of the GSP. That's the best advice that I can offer anybody. And of course, continue growing. When I see the governor, the Secretary of State, the current Secretary of State is the second Secretary of State in Kentucky that is a governor scholar. He's from Ridgeland High School in Paducah.
Really?
Michael Adams.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that.